outer space, in outer space, in outer space, 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 in outer space, in outer space, in outer space.
Alright, welcome to episode 000030 of the Vast Differences Podcast. I'm ThugLife.
And I'm Charity.
And today
we're gonna talk about being sick
Avengers
versus being
Infinity
healthy.
Wars.
What? No, you can't. Oh, I hope that by the time people listen to this, they'll have already seen the movie, or so you're gonna provide some major spoilers. I hope you don't provide spoilers.
It's going to be all spoilers, so if you haven't seen it yet, do yourself a favor, push pause, go watch all 47 hours of Marvel movies, then go to see Avengers Infinity Wars, then come back and unpause.
God. The things you have to do to listen to this podcast.
We require a lot of our listeners. Actually, why have we started calling them listeners? They're VD carriers.
Yeah.
Because this is the Vast Difference Podcast, vdpod.com. And what do you do with a podcast? You carry it. So
You're
VD
the one
carriers.
who did it. I've just been
I
saying
know, it's
nothing.
true. I take full responsibility. Speaking of full responsibility, normally at this point we would say, but first, an advertisement from our advertiser or an advertisement from our advertiser. But for the second week in a row, we have no advertiser. It's actually your fault because no advertiser wanted to commit to buying an advertisement because you were deathly ill in the hospital and didn't know if you were going to pull through. So,
You know, sometimes life just happens. If advertisers can't understand that, why are they even in the advertising business?
it's true. And I told them we already have a contingency plan in place. The podcast will keep going. I'll find somebody else and they'll just continue to go by the name Charity. But they said that without you, that the podcast really shouldn't exist. When they're buying advertisements, they're actually, they're supporting you and not so much the other side of the podcast. So it wasn't very helpful to my self-esteem. But
So did you have just like a meeting with all the possible advertisers, so you guys are sitting around a round table, and
we
they're
had a
like,
conference call. It was a Skype, one of those like group Skype sessions. We had Louis Vuitton. He's still pretty disgruntled from it.
I bet.
No, but I think I
man.
need to set my sights lower again. Like we got big for a little bit, but now we've got to go back to the Hill Cities, South Dakota Chamber of Commerce, and people up there.
South Dakota, here we come. Did you think we forgot about you? We did not.
But yeah, so you were deathly ill. Do you
Yeah.
want to give the listeners an update on the greatly exaggerated rumors of your demise?
Yeah, so what had happened was I'm a dummy, and I am like, the way I grew up was that we didn't go to the hospital or the doctor's office for anything. We just did home remedies and tried to beat it ourselves, took home medicine and like sweated out our fevers and like dunked ourselves in ice baths. It was just all that stuff. So I'd been sick since like April 5th. And it started with a sore throat, and I was like, oh no, I hate sore throats. I'm going to eat lots of ice cream and drink lots of orange juice. And this went on for 20 days.
As you can hear in the previous
As you can hear in the previous episodes. And I was so dumb. I don't know why I didn't go to the hospital here sooner, but when I finally went 20 days later, after I felt like I was carrying around a fish tank on my shoulders because I was just so congested and in so much pain. I went to the first hospital, which is like a lower, like in Korea, they have like tiers of hospitals. Like tier 1 is like an easier hospital. Tier 3 is like, oh my God, you're going to die. Go do something. I went to a tier 1 hospital and they were like, go to a tier 3 hospital right now. And then they locked me in the hospital for like a week. And now I'm better. As you can see by me not coughing a lot and my voice is clear and I can laugh now without like feeling like I'm gonna die.
Well, that's good. The miracle of modern medicine is so great.
It is. It really is.
We're happy that you're back and that
Yeah,
you're feeling well.
but so I had like a few adventures in the hospital. So
Let's hear it.
one of them was my roommate. I nicknamed her Moaning Myrtle because, like, Moaning Myrtle in Harry Potter is like a ghost girl in the bathroom who always cries and flushes herself down the toilet. But instead of crying, my roommate would always be yelling and complaining to the nurses about whatever it was I was doing, which was usually snoring. Because I was severely congested, so my snores were terrible.
Not to be racist, but this is important to me to know. Was she an old Korean lady?
Yes, she was. She was an older Korean lady. That's why she probably
For some
felt...
reason, that makes the story so much funnier in my mind.
It's because, like, when they're older, they feel like that they can yell at anybody because, you know, it's the culture of respect. The elders get respect, but I come from a culture of earned respect.
They take advantage of it. Old Korean ladies are so ornery. Like, there'll be a line, and they'll just come and push their way into the front of the line, and they're like, what are you going to do? You have to respect your elders.
I'm that rude foreigner who just jumps back in front of them, and it's like I use my butt to push them out of the way. They're scared of my butt because it's so big. They're like, get that thing away from me. But yeah, she made me so angry because every single night, ThugLife, she would wake me up. The first night I was there, she woke me up by knocking me on the head, and I woke up and I was like, what? And I was like in a stupor, a sick stupor, so I didn't really register what's going on, so I just fell right back asleep. But she was yelling at me all night.
What was your problem?
Who yells at people for... Because I was snoring. Well, I was like, but who gets mad at people for making noises in the hospital? No one is in a condition to be quiet. And so for the whole week, she kept trying to make me move to a one-person room, which is double the price of a two-person room. And I was like, no, you move. And she was like, I was here first.
Was she?
Dude, yeah, she had been there for like a month. So she considered that her room. But every single night, and you know, sleep is really important when you're trying to get better. Every single night she would wake me up. And then finally, on my next to last night there, she woke me up, and I got so mad. It was like 4 in the morning, and I was so mad that I made a lot of noise, and then I started singing at the top of my lungs.
At 4 in the morning?
Yes. So that she really couldn't sleep. And she got so mad. And then I played my music loud. And she was really mad. And then the nurses came, but by that time I had turned my music off like 5 seconds before they got in the door. I just got really lucky. I didn't even plan that. I turned my music off. 5 seconds later, the nurses came in, and I started acting normal and being all nice and sweet. And she was just so angry. But then the next night, she didn't wake me up at all.
Because she was dead.
No. No, she was not.
So,
But
did
yeah.
you guys ever reconcile? Does this have a happy ending, this story?
No, I still don't like her, and I'm not even there anymore.
You should go back to visit her.
No.
Like at 4 in the morning, just come in and like,
I'm back. Oh gosh, moaning Myrtle.
Aw.
Always complaining about
What did
everything.
she have? Was she still in the hospital?
Yeah, I think so. I never knew what she had because number one, I speak limited Korean, so, and I didn't feel like talking to her at all except to give her death glares. Even my visiting friends were like, that lady is crazy. My Korean friends who came to visit me, they were like, she's crazy. Don't talk to her. And I was like, I'm trying not to. But yeah, that's my moaning Myrtle story.
Excellent.
Excellent.
No, I meant excellent because you're like in a jail cell because you were stuck with your roommate.
Oh, excellent. Okay, I get it.
And also Lent because I'm giving up puns for 1 month.
When?
Starting on Lent, which is tomorrow? I don't know. When is Lent?
Next year.
Next year? Okay, sweet. Okay, got plenty more puns for you until then.
But yeah, modern medicine is
more
amazing because it's like you go in there, you die, and then you leave, and you feel like $1 million. And it's
This
great.
episode is brought to you by Modern Medicine, Tier 3 hospitals, and Moaning Myrtle.
Oh, and I have to say one more thing before we switch because I want to talk about Avengers also. One more thing. I think everyone can relate to this. Is like when you have a clogged up nose and then suddenly it all comes free and you can breathe through your nose again. It is like the best feeling in the world. You feel like you can fly if you inhale hard enough. It's just great. And to all of you out there with stuffy noses, one day you will experience a miracle, and it will be glorious. And then you can say, Charity, you're so right. I didn't appreciate it before, but I appreciate it now. And I say to you, you're welcome.
So what was your topic?
That was my topic, being sick and being healthy again.
Oh, cool. Nice. All right. Cool. All right. Well, time for Avengers. We should give spoiler alert.
Yeah.
We're probably going to spoil some things. So go ahead and push pause. Go see the movie. It's pretty cool. And then come back and unpause. But so, well, first impressions. What do you think?
Well,
Thumbs up,
the
thumbs
first
down?
time I saw it was the night before I went to the hospital, so it's kind of hazy. I do remember really liking it, but I'm actually going to see it again today with my roommates so that I can
Oh, so we shouldn't spoil it. I don't want to spoil it for you then.
No, I remember everything from it.
You
It's
remember?
just
You remember everything, the ending and everything?
Yeah, it's just that I couldn't react very well because I was just like, I was more waiting for the movie to be over because I wanted to go home and go to sleep because I was in pain. But yeah, so now I'll be able to watch it and be like, have all the proper reactions and be like, oh my god.
One reaction that's very proper that you should also have is, why in the world are they making Captain America so powerful?
What are you talking about?
His literal power is that the U.S. government injected him with steroids. Okay, so Vision, he's like super intelligent robot, can shoot lasers out of his eyes and disintegrate things. And his girlfriend that can control people's mind and can move gigantic things and disassemble them and explode them just with the power of her hands. They're fighting against Thanos' thugs, the Minions of Darkness Order, or whatever their names are. And they're losing badly. Those two are killing Vision and his girlfriend. And then Captain America shows up with Scarlett Johansson, and somehow they win. They don't have any powers. They can only fight. Why in the world would they beat these bad guys when... By the transitive property... Your silence speaks volumes because there's no answer.
No,
to
I'm
this.
waiting for...
We all love Captain America. We all love Scarlett Johansson. But if Vision and... What's her name? Red Witch?
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
Witch.
If Vision and Scarlet Witch are losing badly to these henchmen of Thanos, there's no reason, according to the transitive property, that Scarlett Johansson and Captain America should be able to come and beat them so badly and even kill one of them.
I think it's because, you know, the aliens were expecting like a wild fight with Vision and Scarlet Witch, but Captain America and Scarlett Johansson just came in for a physical beatdown, and they were not expecting a physical beatdown. And I think that's why it was like the element of surprise. Like, you're like in a battle, someone comes in and starts using their fists, you're gonna be like, wait, what? And that's my theory. Also,
Okay.
I think Vision and Scarlet Witch, now I don't remember much of this fight, so I'm just going off of what I think happened. But Vision and Scarlet Witch were very concerned about each other. Like, when you're fighting with someone you love, you're gonna be more vulnerable than if you were just fighting with a teammate or whatever. Like, so they were more worried about
Those are
each
good
other.
points. Those are really, really good points. I'll cede those to you, and I would like to subscribe to your newsletter. But at the end of the movie, Okay, so first, at the start of the movie...
Huge spoiler
Thanos,
alert
which
if
is
you
the
haven't
coolest
paused it
bad guy.
yet.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert again. Start of the movie, Thanos is fighting with the Hulk, an insanely powerful mutant green muscular dude, and just beats him up, senseless. Like, there's no competition at all. Maybe the Hulk got in a couple of cheap punches, but Thanos just beat him down. And the Hulk is so strong. He beats up gods, he tears down buildings, he can fall out of airplanes, he can do whatever. So, at the end of the movie, Thanos is destroying everybody. Captain America shows up. They lock fists. And somehow Captain America is like pushing Thanos' fist back, like he's stronger than Thanos. And Thanos has this surprised look on his face, like, wow, this dude is really strong. Why on earth would Captain America be able to do that? Thanos could disintegrate him just with any of the stones. And I just don't get it. Why is it? And it's also his character arc doesn't make sense. When the Civil War happened, it should have been Tony Stark that was against the government. Captain America is like a goody two-shoes Boy Scout. He would have been in favor of the government regulations and oversight. And Tony Stark would have been like, no, we're saving the planet. We can do whatever we want. I'm a bad boy billionaire. And so his character just rubs me the wrong way these days.
I thought that too when I first watched Civil War. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Tony and Captain America should have like switched. But you have to realize that Tony was dealing with a lot of guilt. Remember the lady who came and blamed him for killing her son,
Okay.
and then like the when Scarlet Witch got in his head and he saw everyone dying around him but himself. Tony Stark is dealing with a lot of anguish and like anxiety, and he's like in trauma and guilt. And so when he saw maybe a way for that some of that guilt to be alleviated by taking some of the responsibility off his shoulders, I can see him being like, "Yeah, I'm down for it. Let's go."
Okay,
With
I can
with
see
Captain
that.
America,
So he didn't want the regulation, but he wanted to free himself of the responsibility.
right?
Okay, I can
With
get that.
Captain
But
America, though,
why?
you have to realize that when he went through Captain America Winter Soldier, he went through Shield, all the like Shield things, Shield being corrupted. And being like compromised and then being infiltrated, and so he has a reason to like question what his superiors are doing. And in the beginning of Captain America Winter Soldier, when he went on a mission and found out that Black Widow was on a different mission in the same spot, and there was like no communication, there were things were being compartmentalized. I think that started his distrust of like people telling him what to do. He wants to be a good soldier, but he's figured out that to be a good soldier, sometimes he needs to make the decision himself and not trust the decisions that come from up top.
Okay, that's also a good point. So you have dismantled my tangent that I had. But there's no answer for why Captain America should be able to be as strong in a punching arm wrestle with Thanos. Thanos beat up the Hulk.
Yeah, but
And if he is, what message is that giving to kids? Using performance enhancement drugs, you'll be able to save the day.
no, that is definitely not a thing that children think about when they see Captain
That's his
America.
only power is
I
steroids.
think you have to realize that Captain America is like super special. He almost picked up Thor's hammer, remember?
That was
And
pretty
Thor
cool,
looked
actually.
a little
That was pretty
worried.
cool because he has
And
a pure heart.
it's
And he has an excellent beard, and maybe that's
Exactly.
where all of this is coming from subconsciously, that I'm jealous that I can't grow a beard. But
And also, when he was fighting Thanos was a little weakened because he was fighting everybody. So maybe Captain America wasn't able to get in on that. And also, remember that time Captain America stopped a helicopter from lifting off? Like, come on, dude is super strong.
okay, still, I mean, if we want to just suspend the transitive property, then I can be okay with that. But there's no way that Thanos could beat up every other person that's way stronger and has super magical powers, but then just a regular strong dude, he has a problem punching him.
But what are you talking about? He kicked Captain America's butt. Like, Captain America just had that one moment where it seemed like he could actually do something. And his fist barely moved. Like, it was like picking up Thor's hammer. It was like a little shift. And Captain America stopped him for a bit, but he wasn't able to hold on. And then he got super smacked down.
Maybe
Like,
if something magical happens in the future, if they're like, Captain America has the power of empathy, and he's able to absorb the person he's with powers, and that's why he could pick up Thor's hammer, and that's why, like, he was able to, I don't know. That would be cool if he's like had Thanos' power or something. But anyway, the movie was awesome. Give it 5 stars.
also, I think you need to, like, just accept the fact that Captain America is a valid superhero. You're just jealous. Also, that should give you hope if a regular guy like him can become a superhero. Think of, like, Captain
All you have to do
ThugLife.
is inject steroids into your
Those were
veins.
not steroids. There was a very powerful serum, and there's no more of it.
But yeah, cool bad guy, right? He was such an interesting bad guy.
He was.
For example, in like the Justice League, which I really like Zack Snyder and all of that, but the bad guy was just crazy, ugly maniac, and we're supposed to dislike him because of that. But this bad guy was so layered, and I don't know, you could like kind of sympathize with him, and you could see where he's coming from, and it just made it really interesting.
It was ridiculous. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed. I saw someone post a thing that said that Avengers: Infinity War was basically a Thanos movie with the Avengers thrown in, and I like
agree
that
with
because
that.
you get to see the complexity of this supervillain and see how he like what are his motives, why is he the way he is, and his reasoning isn't that crazy, but his execution is terrible.
Yeah,
Like,
I suppose so.
Terrible.
But the acting,
Like-
the way that he plays it so calm all the time, I really like that a lot. Like when he's fighting with Tony Stark, and Tony Stark's about to die, and he's just like, "You gained my respect. I hope half the world's about to die, but I hope they remember you." And he's just like always calm and very like speaking in a kind of a hushed voice. For whatever reason, that made him like humanized him and made him simultaneously super terrifying.
I thought that made him super conceited. Like, you think that
Oh,
your
really?
plan is so great that you're willing to sacrifice the lives of millions of people, and you pretend like you're so magnanimous, like, oh, you're dying, but I hope people remember you. Like, get out of here, Thanos. Like, seriously, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you hope. You just killed me. Like, go jump off a cliff or something.
Best acting moment maybe was Spider-Man getting disintegrated.
Oh
That was
God!
so sad.
Wait! Super spoiler! Because like before we haven't had really big spoilers, but this is like a major spoiler. Okay.
I'll put in the Tyler episode spoiler alert, and just nobody should have made it to this point in the podcast without knowing that there's
But yeah, like that was so sad. And did you hear about like why Spider-Man's disintegration was the worst?
Why?
Because he has spidey senses, so he felt it coming before it actually happened to him.
Oh, that's why he's like, I don't
But
feel
he
so
was
good.
like,
I don't feel so good.
yeah, I don't feel so good. And then he was panicking. He started like panicking long before he disintegrated, like compared to the other people. Like they like
I just got
it said
goosebumps.
that when they started disintegrating, they were still trying to figure it out, and they were already halfway dead. He figured it out like seconds before, and was able to feel all of it happening to him. And when he hugged Mr. Stark, oh my God, my heart broke. I was like, oh my God. It was so sad because like Tony Stark was his father figure, and Tony Stark looked at him like he was like his protege, and he really wanted to take care of the kid, and Tony Stark didn't even want him to be in space at that time, and it's just like, ugh, that was just brilliant acting by Tom Holland, like. So fantastic. That kid is amazing.
Yeah,
Big fan.
So, yeah. After that, Ant-Man is coming out. It just seems like such an anticlimactic follow-up.
No, because I wonder what's the world's gonna be like.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. That's a really good way to get people to go see Ant-Man, because probably nobody cares about that. But now everybody's like, is half the world going to be disappeared? And
Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then after that is another superhero movie. I think so. There's 2 superhero movies between now and the next Avengers.
is it the next Spider-Man or the
Infinity
next
War.
Black Panther? I know that they were already like contracted.
Well, Black Panther hasn't had a Black Panther sequel is confirmed, but it hasn't been put out yet. So I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, interesting movie. I would like to see it again sometime, but I kind of need to wait until I'm in Japan because it costs $50 to go see a movie here. We don't have any advertising.
Well, I'm gonna see it again tonight, and I'll tell you how it is.
Well, so time-honored tradition. On this podcast, we discuss the vastly different topics of the universe and eventually come to the inevitable conclusion that everything is the same. So, what would be the similarities between being sick and being better in the hospital and Avengers Infinity Wars?
Because watching Infinity Wars, like before you watch it, you feel sick because you're like, I need Infinity Wars in my life. Why can't I have it now? And then after, you feel so healthy and refreshed, and you feel like you can take on the world again. Boom, headshot.
All right. One thing that I think that everybody wants to see is a resolution to this beef that you have with Mona. So I think you should do something like bring her some bulgogi, invite her out to see Infinity Wars, do something and like kindle a friendship between the two of you. Bury the hatchet.
You know, the second that I was there, she like started being all super nice and sweet, and she was apologizing and being like, inviting me to her house and telling me about her family and being all nice and stuff.
Wait, are you serious?
And then that same night, like she was doing all this stuff during the day, being nice. And then that night, she just kept waking me up again and yelling at me. And I'm like, girl, you crazy. Like, get away from me. I was like, I can't trust anything that you say anymore because you keep flip-flopping between, like, being nice and yelling at me at night and waking me up. I hate being awakened. But yeah, friendship is, I'm pretty sure, 100% sure that that's not going to happen.
Okay. Please send me the direction to Moaning Myrtle's room, and I'm going to send a get well soon card on your behalf.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, we're all happy that you're feeling better and that you're back to the podcast. As a welcome back gift, I would like to prepare a pun for you. Okay. So, should it be Infinity Wars based or hospital based?
Both.
So, Infinity hospital based pun. Okay. I'm going to cut all of this out and make it seem like it came up on the spot. So, what did the director of Infinity War say to the cameraman after Thanos snapped his finger? That was also what the doctor asked the nurse to do for Moaning Myrtle.
What?
Pan out.
Such a dork.
It was a really good joke.
You're a really good joke.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to episode 000030 of the Vast Differences Podcast. Don't forget to share on the professional media networks on ThugLife.
Oh, share on Facebook, too, and Twitter, and YouTube, and Gmail, and Yahoo Mail, and Netflix, and your bank accounts. Not share your bank accounts, but share all your bank accounts.
I'm ThugLife.
And I'm Charity. A healthy charity. Vast differences. My stomach hurts.